I'm sharing my screen, guys. Able to see my screen, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Let me open your class notes document. So yeah, so we'll start as discussed. We'll start Dynatrace training today, and we'll have 10 sessions on Dynatrace, minimum 10 sessions. So there will be minimum 10 sessions, and I'll today we will have a walkthrough on what is Dynatrace, what is the significance of Dynatrace, and what is the system configuration required for setting up Dynatrace or installing Dynatrace trial version. Okay, so Dynatrace provides 15 days trial version. However, there are some system requirements that your laptop should meet, right? Your laptop or desktop should meet. So we'll discuss those today. Okay. So this is Dynatrace logo, and Dynatrace is a APM tool. So first of all, so these are the course contents, of course. So we'll discuss all this today's application environment. What is an APM tool? What are the key features of any APM tool? Right? And without any APM tool, like what are the difficulties or what are the challenges in performance engineering, right? And with a good APM tool, how can we proactively alert and remediate? We can have instead of reactive monitoring. So instead of reactive, we can be proactive with APM tools, right? So you know what is meant by the reactive and proactive, right, everyone? Reactive means we'll react to something by once the incident happens, once the issue happens, right? Proactive means like we are like being cautious and not allowing that any issue to happen, right? So we'll see like how to set up this proactive alerts and how to remediate those within how does APM tool help us in that, right? And without APM tool, it is all like blame game, right? So if you don't have any APM tool, developers will be blaming, like DB team. DB team will be blaming network team. We'll discuss all this. What are the like which are challenges when we don't have any APM tool? Now, so far in our discussion, you might have observed that there are a lot of there. So when you have performance issues, there can be multiple reasons, right? So first of all, let us understand what are the common reasons for performance issues. For performance issues. Yes. Can you list out few of those?
Slow down.
Huh?
CPU process gets slow down.
Process gets slowed down, right? What is the reason for that? Process getting slowed down.
Of CPU usage is more.
No, when there are more number of users, it's a your client
Overloading.
has to plan according to that, right? When they are getting more number of users means more business, right? So then we have to plan accordingly. They have to plan accordingly, isn't it? So yeah, anyone else? What are the
Long
common
loading
reasons
time.
for performance? Yes.
Longer loading time.
These are all issues, performance issues. I'm asking what are the reasons for performance issues in an application? Okay, so let me explain. So see, what are the main reasons for performance issues is, so it can be a code issue, right? Means poorly written code. It can be configuration issue. It can be a
Data issues.
server resource issue. Server resource issue. Server resources means what is meant by server resources?
Hardware issue.
Right. So CPU, memory, right? Memory, disk, right? It can be a network issue. Disk, we'll separate that network issue. So, CPU, memory, disk, etc. So it may be, maybe resources or server resources are not sufficient. Maybe there is some code. There are some, um, there are some code issues because, see, suppose there is a developer who wrote some wrong code or poorly written code. So that will impact the application where where his code is lying and existing or executed, right? So it can be a server resource issue or it can be a configuration issue. Can you give some example for configuration issue? So software configuration issue. Okay, see, this is related to hardware. Now it can also be a software configuration issue. Can you give some examples which we already discussed before?
Low thread count.
Thread count, okay.
Disk utilization, I mean less disk usage. Space availability is less.
What is it?
So space utilization or disk utilization.
That we had mentioned here, okay.
Okay.
Heap memory, much of memory we have covered.
Right. So heap memory, it can be a heap memory issue. So we'll separate this into application level issues. Okay. Application level issues. Example, heap memory issue, PC issue, right? Etc. Now configuration issues, software configuration issues. Krishna, we had already discussed this. Vijay and Krishna and everyone. We had already discussed some performance issues last week. Not last week, this week only. Okay. I think I had shared recorded session for that, right?
The table issue, database table issue.
The database issue.
Database connection pool, see, suppose the number of threads in the connection pool is not sufficient. That is a software configuration issue, right? That is a software configuration issue. We can give more number of connections in the connection pool. But if it is not according to the application requirement also, that may result in some performance issues. We had discussed those, right? So that means, no one watched that recorded session. So table space issue, right? Or, log level issue, isn't it? This is also a software configuration issue, log level issue. What is that log level issue? Did we discuss log levels, different log levels in Java, and how do they impact? Go through this session, guys. If we did not go through, all these issues are discussed here. Database connection pool issue, and see, I had shared a recorded session, right? So July 1st session, where we had discussed all these performance issues, database connection pool concept, performance issue, and table space issue, perf issue, and I think log levels are also covered in this. Okay, so there can be multiple reasons. There can be multiple reasons for it can be because of network latency. Okay, performance issues can be because of network latency also, and it can be database level issue. So database level issues means, what does that mean? Slow running queries. Suppose some SQL queries are taking a lot of time or lot of CPU. They're consuming a lot of CPU because they did not write proper SQL queries, right? Because DB team did not write proper SQL queries. So some queries may be taking, maybe running very slow. Some queries may be taking high CPU utilization. Some queries may be consuming more memory, right? So, there can be multiple reasons for performance issues in any application. How many we got here? So we got 6 here, right? And it can also be a load balancer issue. Yes or no?
In the project, how many load balancers are there?
There is no fixed number for that.
Okay.
When do we have a load balancer? When there are more than one web server, more than one app server, then only you will have a load balancer, right? So in front of web server, you will have one load balancer, and then let me go to that LoadRunner test architecture diagram.
Yeah, in this there is one load balancer, but PT fundamentals we load balancer.
Oh, okay. Maybe I think you are confused with this. Yeah. So
Yeah.
before web server, there will be a load balancer. Again, before app server, there will also be a load balancer. That is why, like it is represented like this. So, like it is kept as some unit. Okay. And you have only one database server, but here, you'll have a load balancer before web server and before app server. When there are multiple web and app servers, you'll have a load balancer in front of them.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the different reasons, so it can be a load balancer issue, slow running queries. Some queries may be taking more time. Time means slow running queries. Queries taking more CPU means CPU utilization is high for some servers. Maybe CPU utilization is high for some servers because they are not written properly. Queries not written properly, they may consume more time, they may consume more CPU, consume more memory. So these are the different reasons for performance issues. In interest, they will ask you guys, what are the reasons for doing performance issues? What are the possible reasons for high CPU or high response times or error rate? Right? When do you say that we have some performance issues? When do you say that an application is having performance issues?
While executing the load test,
What are the symptoms of
test
performance issues?
duration is a long duration.
The response time is high. Total response time is
Your transaction response
more.
times are, if transaction response times are high, or that some transactions are failing, right? Suppose you are trying to make a payment in e-commerce application, users are trying to make payment, and if the transaction fails, they lose the business, right? That is a big performance issue, isn't it? Or if users are unable to log in when there is huge load on the application, users are unable to log in. So these are the possible performance issues. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, what are the reasons for those? So these can be the reasons. These can be the different reasons. Okay. Now, if you don't have any APM tool, how do you find out this? It's very difficult to find out this, right? So there will be few more guys. There will be few more. There may be environment issues. There may be environment issues. Environment issues means your server issues. Like server configuration issues. Because see, this is server resource issue, CPU memory disk issue. Suppose CPU memory disk are not sufficient. Now that is one issue. Apart from that, you may have some environment issues. Suppose if your application is running on Linux servers, there will be some Linux specific issues or environment issues, or I'll say OS issues, operating system issues, right? So there will be few more. Okay, you should remember at least 5 to 6 for interview purpose. If they ask what are the reasons, what are the different reasons for performance issues in an application, so you need to recall all this. You need to recollect this, and you need to explain this, right? Now, if you don't have any APM tool, right, then suppose like if there are some high response times, our transactions are failing. Now we need to check all these, right? So we need to identify, we need to analyze the test results, and we need to see whether it is a code issue, or whether it is a resource issue, or software configuration issue, application level issues. Most of the issues you can find from application server logs. But what if like there is a issue with the web server itself? Suppose there is an issue with web server, there is an issue with load balancer, or there is a network latency issue, right? How do you find out that? So suppose response times are high, it may be because of slow running queries. You are getting response time, but response times are like, let's say 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, like that. Okay. But there can be multiple reasons. It's very difficult to analyze the test results, and difficult to find the root cause, to do the root cause analysis. RCA will be difficult, right? When you don't have any APM tool. So it is our, responsibility, or it is a performance engineer's responsibility to, analyze the test results and, to break down the, response time, right? Response time breakdown means how much time it is spending at web server, how much time it is spending at app server, how much time it is spent in the network, DB server, right? So we need to do that response time breakdown. And then we need to, again, once you do that, again, why it is taking, suppose if it is taking more time at application server, why is it taking more time? Or if your request is spending more time at database server, why is it taking more time over there? So that is root cause analysis. Root cause analysis, right? So in the absence of any, if you just have a monitoring tool like Java Melody, let's say, or you have some monitoring tool like Nmon, they will just tell you what is the CPU utilization, memory utilization, disk utilization, or they will just tell you like, if there is any heap memory issues. But will they tell you if there are any code issues? Or, but they can't tell you if there is any load balancer issue or operating system issues. Yes or no? Right? See, with monitoring tools, Java Melody or this one, we can monitor Java heap memory or CPU, memory, disk, network utilization, threads and all this. Active threads, busy threads and all this. But what if there is a code issue? What if there is a issue with web server itself? Suppose web server is unable to, distribute, web server is unable to process the requests, right? So, then how do you resolve it, or how do you find it out, right? Understood is. So doing root cause analysis will be very difficult, in the absence of, APM tools. If you just have monitoring tools are having some limitations, their own limitations. Clear this? So that is why if you have any APM tool like, Dynatrace or something, right? So this, your effort, your time and effort that you need to spend on this root cause analysis will be significantly coming down. Okay, because APM tools, application performance, any APM tool for that matter, they will, pinpoint the issues. They will pinpoint the underlying issues, and, they will directly tell there is a network issue. There is a, like database query issue, right? So you'll directly get to know that with the help of any APM tool. So, so this is the significance of APM tools in performance testing and engineering. And Dynatrace is the market leader in that APM tools. Okay, Dynatrace is the market leader, means Dynatrace is having more market share continuously from many years. Okay, so I know this, like from almost like 15 years almost. So Dynatrace is, is a market leader for almost 15 years. Okay, in this APM space, it has its own advantages. It is costly tool, of course, right? It is costly tool. It is the costliest APM tool in the market, right? But that is the most powerful tool. So we'll discuss, why and how, Dynatrace is so popular, or Dynatrace is a market leader. Okay, I'll take a pause here. Any queries?
Yeah, recently I get to one opening on Dynatrace admin.
Dynatrace admin, it's you have to, work at least 1 or 2 years on Dynatrace to attend interviews for Dynatrace admin. Okay, Dynatrace admin is different altogether, a different
Yeah, I know.
different game. Okay, sir, or you should focus on Dynatrace, and you should, uh, should be in a level to clear Dynatrace certification. Then only you can think about, Dynatrace. You see, we all use Dynatrace only for, to a small extent. But Dynatrace tool is very vast. Dynatrace admin means you need to, set up Dynatrace for every project or every application. That is altogether a different thing. So in this training, in the next 10 to 15 hours, we are going to see how we can leverage Dynatrace for
Our
doing root cause
PT.
analysis. Okay, that's it. Of course, I'll make you set up that Dynatrace application, right? But we will focus more on leveraging Dynatrace for performance engineering. How can we leverage Dynatrace? How can we explore the potential of Dynatrace for performance engineering? Okay, we'll focus more on that, not on the admin part. Okay, so ideally, like, you will not be installing Dynatrace. You will be given some URL, and it is a SaaS application. Dynatrace is a SaaS application. You can see here, create a Dynatrace SaaS account. So SaaS means, so, someone, your admin, every organization will have some team team for Dynatrace admin, and they will set up Dynatrace on the servers, and they will provide you a URL. They will create account for you, and they will provide you a URL and credentials. So you'll be just logging in from the browser, and you will be monitoring your application from Dynatrace. Okay.
Even BlazeMeter also SaaS.
BlazeMeter is also SaaS, but that is used for test executions, right?
Yeah.
Not for APM. It is not an APM tool, right?
Not
So you can
exactly.
integrate BlazeMeter with Dynatrace. You can integrate BlazeMeter SaaS with Dynatrace as well. Any APM tool for that matter.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, BlazeMeter is also a SaaS application.
Sir, JMeter, when we are doing suppose load testing on JMeter, then we can see the monitoring part on this Dynatrace also, no?
Yes, we can use the Dynatrace along with the JMeter or LoadRunner or NeoLoad or any other tool. So these APM tools can be integrated with any performance testing tool.
Okay.
But usually, like a client who is using JMeter, they will not, they will not be ready to spend, budget on APM tool. Why do they go for an open source tool like JMeter? Right? So, JMeter has its own complexities, right? So we can't do live monitoring. We have to integrate with other tools, and we need to maintain those. And you observe like how many challenges we faced when we tried to integrate with JMeter with, InfluxDB
Grafana.
Grafana. InfluxDB Grafana, we had some challenges. We were able to do that. But Telegraph, like we couldn't do that, isn't it? So it's not that it is impossible, but you have to spend a lot of time and effort on that. And also you need to maintain it. InfluxDB Grafana, they release, Telegraph, they release new versions, very frequently. Very frequently. See, other LoadRunner, they will release hardly 2 to 3 versions per year. But those are not like that. Your InfluxDB Grafana, they release a new version almost every 1 month. Okay. So, you need to update to the latest version. We need to maintain it, right? We need maintain. There is a lot of maintenance overhead with APM, with open source tools. But still, if a client is preferring JMeter, means, they don't have budget for, performance testing. So that is why, they prefer open source tools like JMeter. Now, when a client prefers open source tool like JMeter for performance testing, right? So obviously, most of the clients, they will not use Dynatrace, or they will not, and then they can't afford, Dynatrace license cost, right? So that is why we are offering Dynatrace along with LoadRunner, license tool like LoadRunner. But if a client is using LoadRunner or NeoLoad, definitely they will be having some budget for this one also.
So in
Got it?
that case, sir, in that case, whatever the list of issues just now we have seen before this, all those issues, how we can able to monitor using the JMeter case? Using
Okay.
LoadRunner, we can monitor all those issues. Which
Yeah, that is what I mentioned. We need to, and our test results analysis is very difficult, and you need to find out the response time breakdown. What is meant by response time breakdown? How much time it is spending on web server, how much time on app server level, how much time on DB server level. So your transaction response time consists of, okay, 1 second. So your transaction response time consists of processing time on web server, app server, DB server, right? So in the absence of any APM tools in a Dynatrace project, so you need to break this individually. You need to look into application server logs to see if there are any errors or exceptions. Again, you need to, if your database is Oracle database, there is something called AWR report. Oracle gives something called AWR report. So you have to pull that AWR report, and you need to analyze that AWR report. Or if your database is not Oracle, suppose it is MySQL or Microsoft SQL, you have some SQL profiling tools. So you need to, run those profiling tools, right? On the application server, you need to run the CPU profiling tools and, memory profiling tools. So you have to use a lot of tools, like And you need to look into, memory issues. If there are any memory issues, you need to narrow down. You need to check each layer by layer, and you need to narrow down where exactly is the issue. If there are no issues at all these levels, then it may be a code issue. You got it?
So
Then you have
different
to do
monitoring.
then you have to do code profiling tools. You'll use profiling tools for that. You have
So
to
that
use a
means
lot of.
that means different monitoring tools we have to install on each of these servers.
Right. Yes.
Hardware cost will get increased. Okay.
Yes. And it will consume a lot of time and effort, and it requires a lot of expertise, right? In the absence of APM tools, and if you want to find performance issues, it requires a lot of expertise, a lot of experience and expertise. But when you have any APM tools, you don't require a lot of expertise. You just need to know how to use the tool. Okay, what are the different features offered by the tool and how to use each feature. So then you need not use n number of monitoring tools, n number of profiling tools, etc.
Okay.
Okay, good query. Any other queries? Good question, actually.
Pawan, Vishwajit here. Is there any online free certification is available for Dynatrace? So
No, it's not free. It will come with some cost. So no, it's not free.
okay.
And it is
Sir,
also like the exam fees will be somewhere around 15 to 20,000, I believe. Okay. But you need not, spend time on that certification. Once you get into some job, if your company sponsors, then you can seriously think about it. So actually, I had attempted this Dynatrace Splunk certification when I was working for Bank of America. Okay, they sponsored it, and at that time I had cleared these two certifications. But they are expired now. I had to, if I want to claim that I am a certified associate, again I have to do it now because they have certain validity. They'll have certain validity period. Okay, so I need to do it again.
Mostly organizations provide. Right.
Organizations sponsor it. So once you get into the job, like you can check if if any certifications will be sponsored by the company, and you can do at that time. So not required at this moment. No one will insist on certification.
Okay. Yeah.
sir, I have one query related to ISTQB. Whether the board makes any matter, like 2-3 types of different boards are there, a UK board, Indian board for ISTQB. So which one is preferable?
ISTQB here is having more value across the globe.
Yeah, under ISTQB, sir, different boards are there. So which one carries more weightage, or they are of equal? Like
No, actually, in
different.
performance testing, certification doesn't have much value.
Okay.
Okay. So at least like US MNCs and Indian MNCs don't bother about it. Some few countries or few organizations ask for certification. Okay. See, when do they ask for certification? If they don't have any proper team to evaluate the resource, right? Then they look for someone who is having certification. You got it?
Okay.
Suppose they are not having proper performance testing team to evaluate the candidates, then they will then that is one of the reason for asking certification, because these certifications you cannot cheat someone, or you have to do that like in a what is that prometric, what is that, authorized centers, and you have to do that. Okay, it's not like JMeter certification, by the way. You have to go to either you have to attend from your organization, or you have to go to some authorized center and you have to do that ISTQB certification.
So
Okay,
board doesn't make
so
matter, na, sir?
they won't allow you to do it from your home, or they won't allow you to cheat in those.
Sir,
Of
board
course,
doesn't make matter,
of
na?
course, I know our people are cheating in that case also. There are some people who like who clear ISTQB certification by charging some amount. Okay, there are some people who do that also, but that is of no use. That will not be of no use to the candidate unless until the candidate is having subject. If they keep certification again, the level of interview questions will be a very high, right? They will go
And
deep.
Even to shortlist your resume doesn't get any weightage because of your certifications for sure.
Yeah, yes. Most of the
Because
companies
nowadays,
don't give any weightage for certification. Correct.
correct. Nowadays, everybody is, you know what, adding the certifications in their resume, but definitely doesn't have any weightage for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right then. So now let's move on. And so yeah. So this so in this training, I'm going to, I want to cover a different application called Easy Travel. So Easy Travel is a demo application developed by Dynatrace team itself. Okay. So right. So I'm going to cover that application. Like we are going to use this application, but this requires 16 GB RAM. Right. So please try to install after upgrading RAM if your system has less than 16 GB RAM. That is one thing. And processor also should be good processor for this. Okay. If you want to, I mean, otherwise, your system will be slow. Everything will be slow. It will be killing a lot of time. It will run. It may run, but it will be very slow. It will be pathetic. Okay, fine. And now, so this is today's application environment, which is complex and distributed. Today's application environment is very complex and distributed, right? You'll have a lot of upstream systems, lot of downstream systems, right? And some applications will have middleware. There are the applications tech stack is getting complex and distributed. More and more, right? And now when you have an APM tool, right, what is the APM tool? It is the strategy and practice of continuously monitoring and tracking the performance of business applications and the user experience of the end users as they access the application to understand trends. To understand trends means what is the CPU utilization trend? What is the memory utilization trend? And to isolate anomalies. What is the meaning of anomalies? Anomalies means any issues, basically any issues or any discrepancies, right? And get actionable insight for the problem resolution and code optimization. Actionable insight means we need to get some information based on which we can take a concrete action. Okay, no guessing theory or no guessing theory here. For problem resolution and code optimization, for optimizing the code, right? So that is what an APM tool provides. So you can see here what are the different features of APM tools. They provide infrastructure visibility. They provide visibility into the application infrastructure, application deep dive analytics, code level diagnostics, business transaction profiling, and digital user experience monitoring. What is meant by business transaction profiling? You can trace a request from the browser level to database level and the way back. Okay, you can trace a transaction from from web browser to web server, database server, web server, app server, DB server, right? Any other third party applications or any other downstream systems, and you can you can monitor back to the user. So that is what business transaction profiling means. And digital user experience monitoring. So you can also understand how is the end user experience with the help of these APM tools. And what are the key features of APM tools? Monitoring and management of performance along with the availability of the software application. So you can you can set up alerts and suppose if CPU is hitting 100% on one of the app server or DB server, or if disk is getting full on one of the app server, you can set some alerts like so that once the disk size reaches 80%, you'll get an email. Everyone in the team will can get an email. So you can set those kind of alerts. Or suppose your memory utilization is crossing 80% or even 60%, you can set an alert so that you can proactively monitor and you can avoid those issues in the production. Okay, and it provides end-to-end visibility of the application and track overall application usage to understand loopholes or performance bottlenecks, right? And then smart analytics is one feature which gives real and historical data. You can check the live data as well as historical data with the help of this smart analytics feature. And it provides application side and infrastructure side monitoring. It provides application side and infrastructure side monitoring. Now what is this BTM? There is something called BTM here. What is meant by BTM means business transaction monitoring. So actually from the last 1 year, our another trainer was taking this Dynatrace training. So this, so I was doing this for after some time. Okay. All right. So BTM stands for Business Transaction Monitoring, and UEM, User Experience Monitoring, right? And infrastructure monitoring, infrastructure side monitoring, and it helps detect and diagnose the problem areas. It helps detect and diagnose the problem areas. Okay. So these are the key features of any APM tool. Without APM tool, you'll have limited troubleshooting options. We need to check into web server logs, application server logs, database server logs, and performance engineers need to understand the graphs and trends, right? Resource utilization trends or response time trends, and they need to correlate that. They need to correlate or they need to monitor. They need to analyze the test results and they need to correlate the error messages in the log files with the results. Clear? Right? Without any APM tool. Also, without any good APM tool, we can't proactively alert and remediate. We can't proactively alert. We can take only reactive measures, but proactive measures may not be possible, will not be possible without any APM tool, right? And limited visibility. So suppose if login failed, we don't know why, what is the exact reason? Is it because of, because of the application, or is it because of the IDP, right? Is it because of the IDP? Did we discuss what is IDP?
No.
So remember, this IDP stands for identity provider. What is meant by this, identity provider? Large scale applications are using this concept called IDP to validate the user credentials. Okay. They are not validating it, but once a user tries to log in, his request will go to, IDP, identity provider, that will verify your credentials. Previously, we used to have a LDAP server, something called LDAP server. But right now, LDAP is outdated and they are using concept called IDP. So your credentials will go to some identity provider application, IDP application, and that will verify your credentials and your privileges, and then that will, that will send the acknowledgement to the service provider. So there is something called IDP and SP. SP means service provider. Service provider is nothing but your application, your main application. Okay, core application. And this IDP is, what is the job of that IDP software? It verifies your, it does that authentication and authorization. It does that authentication and authorization. As simple as that. So authentication and you know what is difference between authentication and authorization, right? Vishwajit, what is authentication and what is authorization?
Authentication means checking the credentials of any user, and
Right.
authorization means checking the like any files or any like
Authorization is checking the
like
Privilege, permission.
privilege. Yeah, privilege of that user.
right
That
privileges or permissions of the user. What
yeah,
permissions
permission.
does that user have? Right, whether he is a admin user or a normal user, and what are his privileges or permissions, right? So
Yeah.
this will be done by this identity provider. And once it does that verification, both checks, then it will send an acknowledgement to the service provider, your core application, and then onwards you will be able to navigate through the application, right? And that is what we are discussed here. So suppose if login failed, we don't know whether it failed it is because of an IDP, or it may be because of the it may be because of some application issue, right? Suppose if your application server is unable to process the request, or your web server is unable to process the request, or your database server is having some issues, overloaded, or database server is running out of CPU or memory, right? So we don't know what exactly is the reason. We will have very limited visibility without any APM tool, right? And without APM tool, if there are some performance issues, this is how it is going to be, right? Developers will be blaming network admin. Network admin may be blaming DBA, right? If you can't find it, you can't fix it. So if you don't know the reason, you can't fix it. And without APM tool, it will be always a blame game, right? So each team member will be maybe blaming the other team. Developers may say that no, it is not a code issue. Network admin may say that no, it's not a network issue. Right? DBA may say that no, it's not a query issue or it is not a DB issue. Right? Maybe it is a code issue. DBA will say that maybe it is a code issue or environment issue, isn't it? So it will be always a blame game without any APM tool. And you'll have war rooms, extended war rooms. I'll tell you some. I want to give you some incident here. I want to explain you some incident, which I had came across in my Bank of America project. So that is one of the complex application that I worked for. So I had worked for payments application when I was working for Bank of America. So Bank of America is a wholesale bank, and they have some sister concern company. All the software will be developed and tested by a company called BA Continuum. This is a wholesale bank. Okay, this is a wholesale bank, and BA Continuum is the company which develop the software and do the testing of that software required for their Bank of America. So it is a sister concern company for Bank of America. So when I was working for BA Continuum, right? So that is one of the complex applications, as I said. So complex in the sense, it has multiple upstream and downstream systems. And usually on an average, you will have 10 to 15 scripts in any performance testing project, right? We had already discussed this before, multiple times before, isn't it? So you'll have 10 to 15 scripts or 15 to 20 scripts. But in this project, we were having 80 scripts. There are total 80 performance testing scripts. And out of which, again, not single protocol, it is web protocol plus Java user protocol. Java user protocol, right? So web protocol is for their browser-based application. Now Java user protocol is for Bank of America does salary processing for Apple, Accenture, those kind of companies, MNCs. Okay, they handle the payroll processing for Accenture, Apple, and at that time. And these are some major clients at that time. So so suppose if you're those who are working, or those who are working, if your salary, how is your salary processed? Will they do individual fund transfer to every employee? Will a company do individual fund transfer to every employee?
No.
No.
No, right? What do they do is, they provide all these details into, they keep all the employees details and bank account details in a file, in some Excel sheet or some file, and they will they will see what is the total amount. They will they'll send that file to the bank, right? And banks will process, they will process each employees, they will fetch the data from the files, and they will see what is the employee name, what is the account number, and they will process those, right? So this Java user protocol comes exactly there at that point. So to do that payroll processing, etc. Right? That scripts can be developed in web protocol. So those are, those scripts were developed using Java user protocol. Java user protocol. So it is we used to have around 50 web protocol scripts and some 30 Java user protocol scripts. Okay, and how many JVMs used to be there? That application, that is one application where I had seen maximum JVMs. Around 280 JVMs used to be there. Application was running on 280 JVMs, 280 different JVMs. Why? Because this fund transfer will be handled by one set of JVMs. Reporting will be handled by set of JVMs, right? So in that way, there are 280 JVMs. Okay, so for different modules, right? So every time, whenever some developer develops some new code and deploys that new code, right? Or whenever some new feature is added to the application, right? So one major issue that we used to face is some of the JVMs used to go to warning state once they deploy the code, right? So some of the JVMs used to go to warning state, means they are not up and running. That was one major issue that we faced in that time. So that was hampering the progress every time, because build will be deployed almost every 3 days. Developers used to deploy the build almost every 3 days. Okay, At the end of the sprint, we had a stable build, and we used to do performance testing on that. But they used to deploy a new some new feature or new code. They used to check in new code almost every 2 to 3 days. We have to do we have to whenever they deploy some new code, some JVMs used to go to warning state, and we that is a Java application, and having MQ middleware, right? Message queues architecture, MQ architecture, and server is WebLogic. WebLogic is the application server, and app server is Nginx, if I remember it correctly, and database is Oracle. Database Oracle, and Oracle database, and that is a tech stack. That is the architecture. Okay, that is a tech stack. Sorry. So architecture is like three web servers. Nginx is the web server. Okay, Nginx is the web server here. Second. Oracle database. Oracle is the database server, and WebLogic is the application server. And this is IBM MQ. If I remember it correctly, that is, they used to use IBM MQ as middleware. So 3 web servers and app servers are 5 app servers. We used to have, the application used to run on 5 boxes, 5 application boxes as web servers. Okay. And then 3 DB instances, 3 DB server instances. Right. And 280 JVMs. There are a total of 280 JVMs. So now out of these 280 JVMs, every time when developer checks in some code, or every time they do a deployment, so at least 15 to 20 JVMs used to go to warning state. And what we because of deadlines, tighter deadlines, we used to restart the JVMs, and we used to continue that is a temporary resolution. We used to temporarily restart the JVMs, and we used to carry our performance testing. Okay, and every time some scripts used to break because of some code changes, right? And every time in every sprint, at least 1 or 2 scripts will get added. Developers add some new feature or modify some new feature, and we need to do scripting also in this 3 days time window. Okay, you understood? We need to restart we need to identify what all JVMs are not running. We need to restart those JVMs, and we need to develop the scripts. 1 or 2 scripts used to get added in every sprint. We need to develop the scripts, and we need to complete the load test and smoke test first, and then load test, and then soak test in these 3 days. So you can just imagine how it will be, how it used to be. And now, so but because of lack of time, initially we had run by restarting the servers. We addressed that issue with the temporary solution of restarting the servers. But eventually, that is killing every time in every deployment, right? That is killing a lot of time. Restarting the servers, and warming up the servers. We need to warm up the servers again. Warm up the servers means whenever some new code is deployed, right? Initially, the application will be very slow for the first time. Okay, but once some users access the application, some JSPs will be pre-compiled, right? Java server pages. JSPs means Java server pages. They will be pre-compiled and cached. You got it? There will be caching mechanism, right? So that once that caching happens, right, then it used to be faster. But warming up JVMs, restarting JVMs used to be hectic task. So what we did is, you will also do that going forward. So whenever you have some defects like this, we create a defect in Jira tool, or at that time we used to use Rally tool. Okay, Rally is the tool that we used for this defect tracking and all. But I think only Jira is popular nowadays. Jira, Bugzilla are popular nowadays, right? So, but at that time, Rally, we used tool called Rally. 2015, around 2015. Okay, so these are defect tracking tools, right? We raised a defect that that JVMs are going to warning state. We want to get it resolved because it is killing a lot of time and hampering the progress, isn't it? And then we call it as defect triaging. Why I'm explaining this is this, you need to know these technical terms. This is called as defect triaging, raising a defect and resolving the defect. That is called as defect triaging. So we had set up defect triaging meetings. Let me show you that. So in interviews, they may ask you like, are you ever involved in defect triaging? Oh, can you explain the process? You see, defect triaging process or defect triaging as a. What is the defect triaging? It is a process of prioritizing and managing defects, ensuring that the most critical issues are addressed first, especially when resources are limited. Right? Defect triaging is in Agile is the process of prioritizing and managing defects, ensuring that the most critical issues are addressed first, especially when resources are limited. So we had set up a defect triaging meeting, and we took almost 1 week, and every team member should be involved here. Developers, environment team. We used to have a separate team for Linux. Basically, that application was running on Linux servers, and it was Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, if I remember it correctly, it is Red Hat. Yeah, it is Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So we need to pull that environment team also, Linux team as well, because we don't know what exactly why they are going to warning state. What is the exact root cause of that, right? And now, so we had multiple meetings, and we had to multiple meetings, like almost 2-3 days, continuous calls from morning to evening to narrow down the issue, right? To see whether it is a, we don't know whether it is a code issue or a, environment issue or which is causing that, or some setting issue which is causing that. Finally, we found that in Linux, there is a concept called ulimits. Okay. This took almost, almost 1 week duration to find out the issue. So in Linux, there is a concept called ulimits. You can explain this, when interviewers ask, can you explain some performance issues that you encountered in your experience? Okay. So there is something called ulimit. Ulimit means nothing but user limits. Okay. Ulimit is nothing but user here, user or process. So there is something called ulimits where, you'll have some limit for everything. The file size can be, the file size can have some maximum size. There will be some resource limits for each user, maximum number of open files, right? At any point of time, application will have some limit on the number of open files, maximum number of processes for the user, right? Those are called as ulimits. So whenever whenever developers are writing some code or adding some new feature, right? So we understood that, they concluded that, the team concluded that, it is because of whenever there is some code change, we are bumping against that certain limits. Those limits are getting crossed, and that is why the JVMs are going to warning state. So that is, that is the conclusion, by the end of that defect triaging meetings. Okay. So we found that whenever some new code is developed and deployed by the developers, and there are some file handles on that. There is something called file handles. So we are running out of that file handles. And we are temporarily restarting the servers, and it is giving a temporary resolution, right? But but that we cannot live with that, for uh, longer duration, right? Because eventually that restarting the servers is not a simple task. But if you find the root cause and if you resolve it, then you will not get that. You will not get those JVMs going to warning state, isn't it? And we cannot run the test with some JVMs in warning state. If some JVMs are in warning state, obviously we are not using the complete application potential, isn't it? So whenever some new code is developed and deployed, right? So these we are bumping against. Bumping means we are crossing those limits. Bumping against those Linux, those U limits in Linux, right? This was the reason. This was identified as the reason. For JVMs going to warning state. Right, and we increase those U limits, and some are resolved. Some developers identified some reasons why they are crossing those U limits, first of all. And whenever, some limits may not be, optimized, some resources may not be optimized. So they had increased the U limits. And thereafter, we never had an issue with that, right? We spent 1 week and, thereafter, like we had no JVMs went to warning state thereafter that. So this is one of the, issue that, one of the major issue that, that took a lot of time and you gave a lot of headache before it got resolved, right? So like yeah. So now till then it was like, till then it was the scenario like this. Developers will say that it is not a code issue, right? Your environment, your DBA will say that it is not a database issue, but it may be a network issue or it may be a code issue. So it was a blame game till then. But after that, once we resolve that, no more blame games, no more restarting the servers, right? So, like we got, so antakumundu, like whenever there is a build deployment, whenever, like we used to feel a lot of tension because, we don't know, we have to identify what all JVMs went to warning state. How do you identify that is, how do you check that is, we used to have WebLogic console. I used to do that. I was the only one resource from the offshore team at that time. And we have something called WebLogic console. So we need to go to that WebLogic console and I need to check all the 280 JVMs status, whether they are up and running or they are down, right? Again, that WebLogic console, from navigating from one module or one page to another page, it used to take a lot of time. Only for checking this JVM status, it used to take 1 to 2 hours time. You got it? It used to take 1 to 2 hours time only for checking the JVM status. And then I need to restart those JVMs before this issue was resolved. You got it, right? So why did we come here, guys? Why did we come to this discussion? Okay. So anyways, so a WebLogic console, and there is also something called, Oracle Enterprise Manager, OEM tool. So I got chance to work on multiple tools over there in Bank of America. Okay. In fact, that is one that one project is the main reason for me to get confidence and start these trainings. So Oracle Enterprise Manager. So try to get into a product based company. So if you there will be a big delta in the learning curve, and like you will, rather than working like 5 years for a service based company, that is equal to 1 year in a product based company, and particularly banking application. Okay. So in any banking application, or like you'll have a lot of cutting edge technologies, right? So because there will be a lot of rules and regulations, there will be it is a regulated environment, right? So any banking application will be having a lot of regulations. So you'll have cutting edge technologies and you'll have a big delta in the learning curve. Okay. All right. So now what's the flow? Second. Yeah. And one more thing is like, some more tools that I had used is Splunk. Okay. I got chance to work on Splunk also. Which I have never heard before that. Before joining Bank of America, I never heard that name also. So I got a chance to work on multiple tools, which whose name also I don't know those tools names also before joining the Bank of America. So it was first 1 year it was very difficult for me, right? Of course, it was very difficult for me, and I was the only resource. It is an individual contributor role again. You got it. So from offshore, and we used to have one on-site counterpart. Again, that guy is also individual contributor, and he's having very good experience. He was having very good experience, and yeah. So I worked for almost 2.5 years for Bank of America. Okay, and yeah. Now then, at that time, I did this. Okay, I think discussing about these certifications, I went there, right? So your company will sponsor it. From here we went to that. So there I got chance to work on this WebLogic console, Dynatrace, OEM, Oracle Enterprise Manager, AppWatch. AppWatch is for MQ monitoring, and Splunk for log mining, we had Introscope. Introscope was a popular monitoring tool at that time, and I got chance to work on Jenkins and JMeter. The first project or first organization where I have got hands-on JMeter is Bank of America, and we got a lot of issues with JMeter. And JMeter 3 was the version at that time, and this Java user protocol. Even this Java user protocol. That is the first time that I worked on Java user protocol. Okay. All right. So if you get a like a product based company, like your career will entirely change. Your learning curve will entirely change, right? And I used to be like before joining Bank of America, literally I used to be like a tortoise. Okay. So how does a tortoise behave? If you are in a meeting, right? So like if those who are having the stage fear, or public not having public speaking skills, or not confidence on their skill set, they'll be acting like a tortoise, right? Yes or no? So it will hide its head. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? So I used to be like that before joining Bank of America. So I can say that before Bank of America and after Bank of America. So if, career wise. So but that is the first time I had made some PPT. The first PPT I had made is on agile methodology. I made one PPT on agile methodology. Till that time I had never made a PPT in my life. You got it? So that that is one main reason. That experience is one solid reason or main reason for starting these trainings and this organizing things, right? Previously I was very horrible in planning and organizing. Like this batch tracker sheet and all. How we are running now 4 batches without any confusion, right? So this tracking and all, like preparing this and working in an organized way, and like having the proper content, right? There are some people who bought content itself, they paid 5,000, 10,000 for only training material. LoadRunner, 10,000. There are some people who bought, only PPTs for 10,000. Okay, of course, we don't sell it to everyone. So we sell it to some people, like, so, we'll have some, some obligations, right? So there, we sold it some training content. They paid only 10,000 for only training content, my training content. Okay, for each tool, by the way, JMeter 10,000 and LoadRunner 10,000. Okay, like that, right? So this all happened because of that experience. That gave me confidence, right? Because like there is a lot of learning. There is a lot of confidence level will increase if you work in a good project and a good team, right? Good team in the sense like a capable team, right? So our on-site team was very strong. So I am nothing before them. So they used to almost they used to scold me every day. Okay, for the first 1 year I struggled a lot. I had spent some sleepless nights. So because it's very difficult to meet their expectations, on-site team expectations. Okay, fine. So now Dynatrace APM is a product which helps developers, testers, and operations to ensure their applications work fast and reliable. We can trace each and every request, and we can do deep dive diagnosis for troubleshooting, and we'll get method level visibility. So here observe here, suppose if login failed, it may be because of code issue, or it may be code issue, but we don't know where exactly is that code issue, which Java class is having some issue. Again, in a class, you'll have different methods. We don't know like, which method is having an issue, right? But if you have an APM tool, it will give method level visibility. We can, we can get the method level breakdown, which method is taking more time, which method in which class is taking more time. That is what method level visibility means. Methods are functions, right? Methods are also called as functions, isn't it? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Functions, they are also called as methods, right? So APM tools give your visibility into a method level, which method is taking more time and which Java class or which .NET class. It may be a .NET code or application or a Java application. One more wonderful feature of Dynatrace is, see, if you go with any other tools like AppT, right? They will have a separate agent software for .NET applications. Okay, .NET agent. The agent software will be different for .NET applications. For Java applications, it will be a different one, different software. So for each programming language, they have a different agent software. Java agent. If it is a Java application, you need to install Java agent on that machine. If it is a .NET application, you need to install .NET agent. If it is a PHP application, you need to install a PHP agent. But whereas Dynatrace, there is a wonderful concept called OneAgent. Whether your application is a Java application or a .NET application or a PHP application, doesn't matter. Or a Python application, doesn't matter. There is one and only one agent software called OneAgent. That is one wonderful feature of Dynatrace. Okay, if you install that OneAgent, it will monitor or it will work on any application, any kind of application, right? So that is about OneAgent. We'll install that OneAgent, in tomorrow's session, most probably on your system. So meanwhile, what you do is, let me finish this slide and I'll make you create an account for Dynatrace. Okay, or I'll show that now today. I'll show that you do it on Monday, because or Sunday evening, or do it on Monday morning, so that you'll have 15 days time from Monday. You got it. Tomorrow is Sunday, right? So if you install it today, you'll lose today, and tomorrow you may be losing it. So if you can do it on Monday morning, so trial version, if you start trial version on Monday morning, so you'll have uninterrupted access till the next 2 weeks. Okay. It's otherwise you can create another account after 2 weeks. You can create another account and install it again with another Gmail account. You got it. So it's up to you whether if you have time and if you want to spend time on this weekend, you can do it now. Otherwise, do it on Monday. And we can monitor critical business transactions. We can monitor the application infrastructure, and you can capture the end user experience with any APM, with the Dynatrace APM or any APM for that matter. Okay. So APM tools, provides all these capabilities to the performance team or developers. Even developers also use it, right? And now what will we quickly do is, like, let us check like what are the prerequisites. So as I mentioned before, Dynatrace, you will get a 15-day trial version for Dynatrace SaaS. You need admin rights. If you want to use this, if you want to install Dynatrace, you need admin rights on your machine. That means if you are using an office laptop and you don't have admin rights, you can't set up this. Okay. And a machine with i5 or i7 processor are higher. Okay. So 7th generation and above. Again, processor generation should be 7th generation and above. 16 GB RAM is recommended, but minimum is 8 GB. Okay, it will be very slow. It will be horribly slow, particularly with easy travel application. Easy travel is a heavy application, bit heavy application. And then IAS manager in Windows 10. That will be taken care by Dynatrace OneAgent. When installing OneAgent, it will install all the required software. But these are the prerequisites, right? And they, you can create an account, with your Gmail account also. That is a good thing with this, but you'll have a limit on the trial version. It is 15 days. And can you go to dynatrace.com and register yourself with Dynatrace web portal? Okay. Dynatrace.com trial resources. Okay. Can you go to this URL or Google search for Dynatrace trial version? Dynatrace free trial. Just Google search for Dynatrace free trial. And you land upon that page. Sorry, this is New Relic. Why is it showing New Relic? Dynatrace trial, try for free. So go to that page and click on accept all cookies. And now try us free for 15 days. No credit card required. You need not enter any credit card number. And it will be up in 5 minutes. And explore on your environment or use sample data. Now what does that mean is, if you have Conacut application, right? Or if you have that WebTools application or any other demo application on your system, Dynatrace will automatically identify that application. Or if you have MySQL server, it will identify that there is a MySQL service running on your system. Okay. So explore on your environment or use sample data, right? So it will ask for a business email, but actually you can, like, business email means official email, but actually it will accept, Gmail also. Okay. Can you please do this? Can you please do this, and or else do one thing. Those who have some time and who want to spend time on Dynatrace this weekend, can you please share your screen?
Yes, sir. I am sharing my
Yeah,
screen.
Vijay, please share.
Sir, I am searching. Are you able to see, sir?
Yes. Dynatrace free trial. We continue. Yeah. Yeah. Enter those details, password and name, first name, last name. Please remember the password.
Yes, sir.
Or note down the password or use some common password, that you can easily remember. Make sure, check whether you have caps lock on your system. So in deploy regions, select AP Southeast Sydney. Select, scroll down once, scroll down once. Scroll down once. No, there are other options also. No other options.
No, sir.
Okay.
It is not
Then
there.
select AP Southeast Sydney. So AP stands for, what does that AP stand for?
Asian.
Right, Asia Pacific.
Asian Pacific.
Asia Pacific, not even Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So AP Southeast Sydney. So it's because, see, that is the Southeast Sydney. That should be the closest region, deploy region. Yes, scroll down. Your account will be created in Asia Pacific, Sydney server, Sydney Dynatrace server. So read the description over there. Wait. Below that, there is a description. Read it out. By choosing a server that is closest to your location, you'll reduce the latency in communication between you and the server, giving you better performance, right? But if you see the other options, expand the drop down ones, all other options are US options, right?
Yes,
US
sir.
West, US
Yes,
East, and
East,
yeah.
Europe.
Correct. So select, that I think that is the closest one. Okay. And now phone number is optional. Partner code is optional. Yeah. Click on start free trial. So you'll get an email, activation email to your mail ID. You'll also receive an email when your environment is ready. So you can close this window, right? It is processing your sign up. So meanwhile, click on that link, get to know Dynatrace. And Dynatrace provides huge documentation, lot of, recorded webinars, right? There are a lot of resources, but like you have to, it won't be a bit structured, or if you are good in self-learning, yes, you can learn Dynatrace from their website itself, from their Dynatrace University. They call it as Dynatrace University. If you are good in self-learning, you can learn a lot of that, that Dynatrace University.
Through mail, we have to activate, sir.
No, yeah, check your Gmail. If you receive, you should receive an activation email.
Not yet, sir.
Check the other tabs.
Spam, it will not go.
It may land in spam also. Yes. No?
Yet.
Okay. Wait for some time then. Let me pause recording. So meanwhile, you can go through that, go to the Dynatrace website, getting started. Yeah. So maximize it and go through these webinars. Okay. So you have a weekend, so you can go through those webinars and try to understand. Some accent will be difficult to understand, or try to understand as much as possible. If you don't understand, leave it. But try to understand as much as possible. So you'll receive an activation email when your environment is ready. It is still processing.
Okay. Check.
And you have, see, go to that, no, share your screen, Vijay. There are a lot
Give
of
me a second,
tutorials.
sir.
Did you see that? There are links to
Yes, sir.
tutorials on the left side.
Yes, sir.
Tutorials, references, and analyze that to deliver, manage your Dynatrace. Yeah. Go through that documentation, monitoring the environment, navigate Dynatrace, right? And all those tutorials and all. If you have time, right? If you have time and patience. So otherwise, I will cover important, concepts, whatever required for performance testing and engineering, I will be covering it. Right. So go to that page, hit first tab, go to the first tab. And these people also, like, they release new version almost every fortnight. Every fortnight they release some new version, and UI, there will be a lot of UI changes. Okay. So that is why, some people sell these Dynatrace recorded sessions, but it will be of no use. ఎందుకంటే from 1 month to month, UI changes a lot. There will be a lot of UI changes, and it will be a lot of confusion. Like recorded sessions law. Suppose if I have recorded sessions last year, the UI, there will be a lot of UI changes this year, or every month there will be a lot of UI changes. So it will be of no use if you buy recorded sessions of Dynatrace, particularly Dynatrace. Go to the first tab one more time. Go to the first tab one more time. No, first tab in your browser. Please give me a moment, guys. Yeah. Now it is done. Now click on launch Dynatrace. Click on launch Dynatrace. Yeah. Log into with your credentials. See, if you should have received one email also. Please check it once. I think you have to activate that. I think you need to click on that activation link. I think.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Yes. Access your environment. Okay. This is one way to log in. Okay. Remember me. Select that remember me checkbox. Sign in. Okay. So 14 days left now. Why? 15 days, right? We should get, okay. Maybe, they are
Today,
counting from tomorrow, maybe. Okay.
today,
Today is the first day, right? So you have 14 more days. So 26 plus 14, right? You will be having approximately till August 10th, right? Approximately till August 10th. Okay. Now identity and access management. Okay, scroll down, scroll down. Dynatrace platform subscription APIs, identity and access management. Okay. I'm sending a request. Can you please approve the request once?
I will move, sir.
This is the account management page only. Group management, platform insight. Settings. No. There should be some option to install OneAgent. That is what I'm looking for. As I told you, right? So they'll be making a lot of UI changes almost every month. So like if you log in after 1 month, again that UI is different, will be different, something different. So that is one challenge with Dynatrace.
Give me a minute. Let's move to that profile. Left side, right side. Nothing.
No, not this one. So profile page, my profile means you will find your registration details. That's it.
Okay.
So we should get a, one second, 1 second.
Right, sir.
Go to the previous tab once, Vijay. Welcome to Dynatrace on the other, but you'll get the same page there also. Spotlight. 1 second. Group management, platform insights, and
I went to play. Check.
not this one.
Document will be there.
Now go to that previous tab, fourth tab. After google.com, you have one tab, right? Welcome to Dynatrace page.
Yes,
I
sir.
think you will land up on the same page, I think. Okay, 1 second, 1 second. Oh, this is your Gmail, okay.
Give me. Huh. Sir, on right side of that Capgemini, is there one more home is there?
No, that is not clickable. I'm unable to click on it.
Once we add some people then, sir?
No.
Create report option is there, sir?
Okay. So this is a challenge, major challenge with Dynatrace every time. Assignment, irrigation, protection, report, sales, services. Yes, this one. They moved it here. So basically, you need to go to settings and environments. Settings and environments. So let it load. App shell. Yes, this is the page that I'm looking for. Okay, this is the page that we want to get started with. So apps.dynatrace.com. Okay, now once you are on this page, wait till the page is loaded. Home Launchpad. Yeah. So yes. Now here there is an option to install OneAgent, OpenTelemetry, and all this, right? So we need OneAgent first. Okay, we need to install OneAgent. What is OneAgent, by the way? So it is a agent software for monitoring the server, right? And where do you install this? Actually we install this. We need to install the Dynatrace OneAgent on your server machine, so that it will collect all the metrics on. It will collect all the metrics, and it will it will collect all the metrics, and it will provide access to all the Dynatrace features. Okay, so it provides full stack observability and production in minutes. So click on the Dynatrace OneAgent, and anytime if you want to go see all the apps, you can click on these apps. If you click on apps, anytime it will show you all the apps. Okay, and here like once you are on this page, so search installed apps. We did not install any app till now. So but if you go to apps, right, it will show you what all our apps are installed. But if you go to this home page, right, Dynatrace console or launchpad, so you click on that OneAgent, it will show you an option to install that OneAgent. So now you need to install this OneAgent on your server machine. Okay, you need to install what is OneAgent, the simplest way to capture all your observation signals automatically and in the context. When you install this OneAgent on your machine, so it will automatically identify what all services are running on your laptop and what all processes are running on your machine, right? So if you have Konakat, it will identify that Konakat application. It will identify the Tomcat application, right? Konakat is running on Tomcat, right? We had set up Konakat on Tomcat, and then we used MySQL as a database. It will automatically identify it. Okay, so you just need to click on setup. There will be a series of steps. It will take some time. Shall we continue? What is the time now? 9:50. Huh? So click on that setup, and then you'll go to the OneAgent installation page. Okay, choose your operating system type, and then monitoring mode. Go with the default one, and you need to click on generate a token, install or download token. So first you need to click on generate token and copy that token and save it in Notepad++ or save it with some name. Vijay, open your Notepad++, paste that token and mention the date also, so that you'll have a track of when that version was installed and all. Paste the token. No,
Sir,
click no. Click no.
Sir, 1 second.
So now yeah, save it with the name as Dynatrace token or something. Dynatrace token, and give the mail ID and today's date also. No, ikkada kaadu. You can give it in the file. Yeah, fine, that's fine. You can give it here also. Dynatrace token, give that, July 26th. Then. There is a typo there. You missed a letter M. Yes. So that, you will have a track like, with which mail ID you started the trial until when you will have a, trial version. Okay. Now click on that, download OneAgent via command prompt or download option. There is also a download button there, right? Yeah, you can click on that download. So OneAgent software is now getting installed. So you see what is the size of it, 133 MB, right? And what version is that? 1.317. 1.317 is the major version. Open file and go to the instructions. Please follow the instructions. Okay. Install OneAgent as a privileged user. Observe there. See, you need to install OneAgent as a privileged user. So copy that command, right? Copy that command.
Sir,
No, don't double click and install it. Don't do that.
cancel.
Click cancel. You can double click and do that also, but let us follow the process. Now copy cheyadaniki you have a icon there, right? At the end of the box, right side, you have an icon to copy.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Use that option. Okay. And now go to downloads folder. You have it in downloads folder, right? Before that, check how much space you have in your C drive once.
Sir, it's there.
You are having 117 GB. Very good. Now go to downloads folder and open a command prompt here. Open a command prompt and paste that command. Dynatrace OneAgent Windows.exe set monitoring mode full stack. Set app log context -access is equal to true. Yeah. Hit enter. I'm just trying to understand that command. I'm just trying to read out that command. So you can see that 1.31746 that based on what version you download, you have that command. That command will get updated continuously based on the latest version, right? So this is the latest Dynatrace OneAgent version. Yeah. Now click next. So yeah, we'll go ahead with C drive only because you have enough space. Yes. Click next. Install. So Dynatrace fees will be 5,000 only for this batch. From next batch onwards, we are going to increase the fees to 10,000. And I am planning to prepare for certification also from next batch onwards. So I myself also want to attempt that certification again because it's been very long time. So I did that in 2017 or something. So I also want to attempt the certification one more time.
Sir, this Dynatrace will identify all the performance tool, no?
Dynatrace will identify. No, it won't identify performance tool. But if you want to use Dynatrace in a LoadRunner project, you need to do something called request tagging. Okay, so you need to modify your LoadRunner scripts by using that request tagging tool. You need to add some headers will be added to your LoadRunner script. I'll cover that in one separate session. Then your Dynatrace will be able to capture those transactions and all those. Only
No,
after
sir,
integrating the LoadRunner scripts with the Dynatrace.
So just now you said, na, it will identify Konakart and
It will
applies.
identify the servers on your machine. It won't identify your performance tools.
Okay.
It will identify it will identify services and processes running on your system.
All services, sir, or only related to server category?
All the services. It will identify all the services.
Okay.
Right. So OneAgent is successfully installed. Yeah, click finish. Now go to your page and that browser and click on show deployment status. No, scroll down and click on show deployment status. Okay. Now it identified your machine name,
Yep.
right? See there, your host name is that laptop L92F, right? So it identified your host name. And what is it saying? It is wait. Read it out. Don't rush.
Host is
The things.
monitored.
Host is monitored. OneAgent is up to date on version 1.37, right? And then IP addresses. It is showing IP addresses. Monitoring mode standalone PaaS platform as a service. Currently used active gates none. Right? Direct communication. We'll discuss what is active gate and what is the direct communication. We'll discuss it later. Now click on that machine name. Click on your machine name and it will show you, do you have MySQL service running on your machine
Yes,
now?
sir. MySQL will be running.
Is it
My
automatic? Did you set it as automatic?
Yes, automatic.
Okay. So it will identify that now. If it is running, it will identify that. Or if you are having that, the Tomcat
I
running,
have,
it
sir.
will
Tomcat I have to run. Means
yeah, start it. Start that. Check that MySQL and start the Tomcat also.
I have, sir. Okay, this is Workbench.
That is Workbench, not that one. Go to
Maybe
services and go to
okay,
service.
that will be running, sir. Sir.
Is that set as automatic, not manual?
Yes, I have set as automatic, sir.
MySQL.
Automatic.
Okay. Yeah, close this window. Close that window. You don't need it anymore. Services. And start your Tomcat also.
Tomcat. Shortcut.
That you'll have one shortcut, right? Yes, that. Now go to your go to that browser and there is a process tab. Observe there, overview, info, processes, right? Go to processes tab.
Yes.
Right. So scroll down. So it is showing that, see, right now you are having OneAgent log analytics running. Do you have Postgres database also?
Yes, sir. Postgres I have.
Okay. So it is showing all the process running on your system. You have InfluxDB, right? You have MySQL. It identified that MySQL. See, again, this is a new UI. This UI is completely new to me. So 2 months before it was a different UI. Okay. Anyways, so scroll to the right and scroll down and see all the all the processes that are running on your system, services and process.
This much only options.
Okay. So, but Tomcat is not being shown now, right? Because it is not at started, right? So once it is started, right? Close the command prompt, close unnecessary windows. Close that command. Yeah, you close it. Close this. Now Tomcat started? No, you started it already, right?
Yes, sir. A web browser also came.
Browser also opened up, right? So go there.
Unable to establish. Maybe that proxy setting may be there.
But why it is opening in Firefox?
Sir.
Usually
Firefox is default, no?
Oh, okay. Firefox is default on your machine. No,
Yes, sir.
by default, Chrome, of course, Chrome is the default browser on my machine. That's why it get open in Chrome on my machine.
Sir, for execution wise, I do that way, as you have told.
Okay.
It will invoke, sir. Kona card will come up. There is some issues. And sir, there are some issue in my today in Kona card.
Why are you getting this issue? New Firefox can't establish a connection to the server. Close this browser once. Close that browser. Can you give me control once?
Give me a second, sir. Let me close.
I'm already having control. Okay. Go to services and restart the MySQL server.
Clear today. Every time it was working, sir. Now I don't know because of something. JRE environment variable not defined. Is not defined correctly, sir.
Okay. No, you are getting this issue only now.
Now, sir.
Okay. So others do one thing, guys. Before going for OneAgent installation, check your Tomcat once so that we'll get a confirmation whether it is because of Dynatrace or some other issue. Okay. I'll also do that. But before you install OneAgent, check your Tomcat. May verify whether your Tomcat you are able to start your Tomcat or not. But that is fine. Even if you don't do that, we'll use one Easy Travel application. We'll use a special application for Dynatrace called Easy Travel. That is fine. But you understood, right? So once you start your OneAgent, it has identified all the processes running on your machine. It identified that InfluxDB is running, and then Google Chrome is running, and then right, your MySQL Workbench was running, right? MS Edge means that Edge browser, Microsoft Edge, right? So it and there are 4 pages actually. See, observe that this is first page. Go to the next page, Vijay. Go to the
Yes,
next
sir.
page. Yeah,
Copilot.
Copilot is running,
LoadRunner.
MySQL server running, LoadRunner is running, LoadRunner agent process is running, right?
MySQL.
And Postgres database is running, Notepad++, and then what else do we have? IIS server. Yeah, this is 4th page. You directly went
Yes,
to the
sir. Yes, sir.
4th page.
This is 3rd page.
Yeah. So your OneAgent is up and running, and now we'll stop it here for today. And others, when you are installing, before you install OneAgent, make sure that you are verify once whether your Tomcat is running or not. Verify it once, then you install Dynatrace, so that we will understand whether Dynatrace is causing any conflict. Maybe it should be a Java version issue, Java issue with the Java version. Okay, so we'll see that, we'll understand that. Okay, but we haven't faced any such issue before with no conflicts before with Dynatrace and Kona card, right? So let us rule it out. Let us confirm that. Okay. All right then. So we'll close the session here for today. We'll continue tomorrow. And see the CPU and memory utilization, Vijay. Go to your CPU and memory utilization now. Now your OneAgent is running, right? So see, you can see that CPU is hitting 100%. Memory, see the memory utilization. Do you see any spikes over there? No. Okay, only CPU utilization spikes. Go to CPU one more time. What is this? Let me i5 10th generation. Okay. Minimize this, close the task manager, and go to apps one more time. Okay. Dashboards, class, logs, cloud databases. Okay. Click on that infrastructure and operations on the left side. Left side, you have infrastructure and operations. Yeah,
This
you can click there also. Infrastructure observability means, it will give you a visibility into your application infrastructure, right? Whether your application is go to the tabs one more time. So basically, what does this mean? 1 second, 1 second. Let me use Spotlight. See, Dynatrace will give you visibility into your application infrastructure, right? So, application infrastructure, whether your application is running on AWS or or Azure or GCP, right? Or whether it is running on Kubernetes, right? So it will give you OneAgent will give you a visibility into, or Dynatrace will give you visibility into your application infrastructure, right? And application observability, it will give you visibility into your application. It will give you visibility into message queues and your services and profiling and optimization. There are lot of features of this Dynatrace tool. And what else? Application security. It will give you a visibility into application security. And then digital experience monitoring, right? And business analytics. It will give you visibility into your business analytics. Or we can trace a transaction from end to end. We can do end-to-end transaction tracing, right? So these are some of the apps that you get with by default, right? And OneAgent is the agent software for the server. So that is responsible to collect all your server metrics and all. Right. So in the next session, so we'll see if we can resolve this issue, Conagat issue. Otherwise, we'll set up that easy travel application and we'll take it forward. Okay. I'll stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Guys.
So,
Any queries, guys, before we close today's session?
yes, sir. In my case, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
So in my case, sir, processor is i3. So if after installation, if CPU usage exceeds above 80%, that means it is slowing down the processor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other queries from anyone else? So, guys, those who paid only 15,000, they need to clear the pending fee amount. Or those who paid, some people paid even 10,000 only. So they need to clear the pending fee amount to continue from Monday onwards. Okay. And only for this batch, it will be 5,000. From next batch, as I mentioned, right? So it will be 10,000 for Dynatrace training, and of course, we'll cover certification also. So we'll prepare for you I'll try to prepare you for certification as well. Okay, that is from next batch, but the fees is only 5,000 for this batch only. So it will be like 10 to 15 hours duration altogether. Okay. All right then. So I'll close it here. I'll stop it here for today.